Thank you for being here today. Border security is absolutely national security. Thank you for protecting America, trying to keep our community safe, trying to stop the flow of the drugs, the human trafficking, the gun trafficking, the foreign nationals from coming into our country. And so thank you. Thank you for doing your duty. The majority of the American people appreciate you following the rule of law and trying to protect our communities, states, and our nation. You know, I had another question. I hope I get to it. I'm a member of the Mississippi National Guard. I'm chairman of the National Guard caucus, and I think the National Guard, like as you mentioned, is going to be a huge multiplying force for your agency and for securing the border. You know, our national defense, our active duty military cannot do anything without our Guard and reserves. I mean, they can, but to sustain operations, and so they're great for plug and play. So be creative on how you use them. Don't just have them guarding fences, doing fire watch and things of that nature. I participated in joint task force missions on the border in the 90s, doing just surveillance. Communications, using our eyes and our ears and our brains and reporting back, and so feeding you the data to hopefully make intel out of it. So with that, I'd like to jump into some quick questions. CBP has two key missions, securing the border and facilitating cross-border commerce that powers the nation's economic growth, and U.S. CBP officers are the most important border security and trade facilitation resources we have. However, to accomplish their mission, CBP needs enough agents and officers to be able to screen cargo, interdict illegal drugs and contraband, and make arrests while moving legitimate commerce and passengers through our air, land, rail, and seaports of entry. We have sat through many of these hearings together, and we know for a variety of reasons that the CBP officers are in short supply these days, which has created a national security and economic vulnerability that this Congress must address. CBP is critically understaffed and remains well below its congressionally mandated staffing levels by about 1,000 CBP officers and nearly 2,000 Border Patrol agents. So I'm curious if you've given any thought to potentially leveraging the private sector to alleviate some of the manpower shortages by allowing qualified private sector security screening experts to carry out day-to-day scanning and screening functions and image analysis, which would free up your officers to concentrate on their law enforcement and oversight missions. And I'll leave that open to whoever wants to answer.
I'll specifically answer that question, and obviously happy to talk about many aspects of our hiring effort to get the right workforce out there. We have made progress. Last year we hired almost 200 additional CBP officers, and we expect to increase our performance this year through a number of efforts. But in terms of your specific question, how are we leveraging private sector assets for functions like effectively reviewing scans from non-intrusive inspection technology? We're actually leveraging the private sector heavily in this area. Both to provide an ability to do an automated analysis of the vast majority of scans. That capability is increasing due to artificial intelligence techniques. But we've also been able to partner with industry, and we're currently rolling out an integrated viewer that can combine images from a variety of different technologies produced by different manufacturers and present a consistent picture for our officers and analysts. You're right, it doesn't have to be an officer or an agent to review that technology. It could be an expert hired for that specific purpose or contracted out in some cases to do a good analysis of that image. That is absolutely something we're pursuing, and we're going to have, if we have the appropriate specialties in our National Guard partners, we've requested support in some of those areas to help extend our capabilities as well.
Well, I mentioned to the Secretary of Homeland Security yesterday that DHS actually has a research and experimental UAV facility at Camp Shelby, which is our nation's largest National Guard training site in America. And so, this is one fight. Multiple agencies are going to be participating. Y'all are obviously the lead agency, but, we got the Coast Guard in South and Central America trying to interdict drugs and bad actors before they make it into Mexico and to the drug and whatever, the highway that will, because if it's still correct, I mean, if it makes it into Mexico, it's going to make it into America. I mean, it's just the resources that they have are huge, and I'm just glad this president, this Congress, and the American people are supporting us and investing in your agency, investing in your resources, which are your people and the equipment that you need to do your job and to be successful. The American people are with you. Good luck, and just let us know how we can continue to help you do your job. Thank you.
Mr. Taylor.